Welcome back. We are back in the daytime in Menkata, but we're also trapped on the inside of this structure. Unfortunately, the only way to get out of here once you get here is to go back to Relto, or use the portal once you've completed it, but we haven't yet, so we can't. And of course I can just use the Menkata book I have on my bookshelf now. Also notice that I have the Kadish Talisa book, because we used that Borrow Stone earlier. But Nora of course can't, and to avoid having to go back via the library, I'm gonna send her an invite. Let's go to Buddies, Nora, add her to my Menkata. There we go.
Yep, and I just got it. So I'm actually in the Nexus. I will...
And since there are no journey markers here, you never have the issue of having to share the book. Which is nice because it doesn't give Nora any opportunity to mess with my windows. Alright. So we're back. And as you might have guessed from the number of parts that the symbol has in total, as well as the fact that there are 5 groups of compass roses in the notebook, there are in fact 5 kivas for you to find. The remaining 4, however, are a lot further away than the ones we've done so far. The first one really is very close compared to the other ones, and you can save a lot of time if you use an alternative method of finding them, which is actually what we're going to do now, just to save ourselves some time, as well as you watching. We're actually also going to cut out some of the running later, because otherwise it's just going to be us running around, which will get boring. Because yes, these distances are quite long. The alternative way to do this is by using vector addition. Again, this is something that makes a lot of sense to someone like me who's done geometry and linear algebra and other things where you learn about vector addition. If you haven't done that, you probably wouldn't figure this out yourself. But you can then just do it the regular way, like we did the first one. It's really quite simple. The easiest way to do it is to take a piece of graphing paper and draw the route precisely to scale. Make sure that all the lines are the correct length in relation to each other, and that they are as close as to the correct distance that as you can get them. So if we do that now for the second route, let me just add a little graphic there. You can draw a line that corresponds to the 835 units east for the first one. Then the second one is 332, also pretty much east. Then 369 south, 538, sorry, east again, 205 northeast, 205 east, and 511 southeast. That's a lot of going east. Now that we have all of those, what you can simply do is draw a straight line between the start point and your destination, measure the length of that line, and then you have the direction as well as the distance you need to walk in a straight line from the compass rose, which avoids you having to actually follow the course. For the second one, for this particular one, it isn't that big a problem to just run the regular course, because, well, it is almost pretty much a straight line. But if you look, for instance, at the fourth route, that one goes all over the place, and you really save a lot of time by using this way. You can also use a mathematical vector addition to get to the direction and the distance if you happen to know how to do that. But drawing it on a piece of paper still helps, because you will need to know what these routes look like to find the proper constellations. Alternatively, you can just go to the website of the Guild of Greeters and download this really great map they have, which shows you all the routes as well as the direct way. I'm actually using that map right now as a cheat sheet while recording. It's really a very nice map, so you can use that one if you don't feel like drawing all the symbols yourself. Right, so after connecting all of these together, what we see is that we have to go about east-southeast. East is actually this purple symbol going this way, and it's just a little bit to the south of that. It's about this direction. Of course, we'll get pushed aside by that piece of bone, but that doesn't matter. We don't care. And the total distance that we need to run is 2,483, if you've drawn and measured it correctly, which corresponds to about 103 seconds of running. So let me get my stopwatch ready again, and go!
Oh, bugger.
Okay, should be close now.
I can hear the music.
Yeah, because we are reasonably close to the final point. Can you see it? Is that it? Yeah, I think that one's it. Yes. Okay. As you can see, I wasn't exactly at the right place, but we managed to find it anyway. The trick is to look for the pock marks that are light on the top. So let's go down. And it's exactly the same story here, a mostly empty cave with a stone slab. Why don't you touch the symbol this time?
Yep.
You can see that it actually does link us both at the same time. I'm not entirely sure why that is. From a gameplay point of view, I guess they want to prevent you from one person going to the night from one kiva while another person goes from another kiva, because that would really mess things up if they then both go to fetch the symbols and then two constellations would move. They probably didn't want to have to deal with that situation from a programming point of view, so that's why they just did it this way. From an in-universe point of view, I don't really know why. Because the Barrow did it. Of course, same procedure. We have to find our path in the stars and then walk towards it. Now, let's see. We drew a nice picture of the constellation before. Now, let's see if we can find it. Definitely not that one. There we go. Mostly horizontal one. So let's run towards it. Here it is a little bit more important that you do have a proper direction, because if you don't, then this whole symbol might appear slightly out of your sight and you'd never know. And because they are sometimes quite far away, you can be left wondering if you missed it or simply aren't there yet. See, this one is quite far away, but we found it. And now you can tell that it's really important to notice the fact that the that the constellation ends up pointing to the center, because from here we can't see our starting point. So unless you paid very close attention to what direction we were actually walking from the kiva and how long we were running, so you can then calculate what the direction back to the center is, you would be lost. But because when we touch the symbol, the Barrow do their stuff, the constellation moves across the sky. That has to be an optical illusion, because I don't believe that even the Barrow have the power to physically move stars, because it's not just a matter of time passing, because only one constellation is moving. So it has to be really physical movement of the stars, and I don't think the Barrow can actually move stars, so it's probably just an optical thing. Okay, and there is the center back in view. So we'll
Oops.
go back there. Now we don't have to pay attention to constellation anymore now, because we can already see where we're going. And it's the same procedure. Just have to touch that symbol again. You can see that the portal only appears in the daytime version, not in the nighttime. So let's link through.
Wait a second. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Well, we are now on opposite sides of the cage. Doesn't really matter all that much, because we can't go through the portal yet, because it isn't complete. We might want to make sure that this doesn't happen for the final symbol, though.
Absolutely. You could come up here and jump up and down on your top of your head.
It does. In this case, it saves us a little bit of time, actually, because Nora doesn't have to go back and link out. I still have to, though.
Oh, that's a point. I can just run around in circles while you're...
One thing about the kiva we just visited, the second kiva in Menkara is actually the location of a sparkly, except that because for some reason that sparkly caused a lot of glitches, so they turned it off. Unfortunately, that means you cannot collect all sparklies and you cannot get the prize for doing that.